Daniel chapter 4, he was proud. He said, this is how he started, verse 30, Daniel 4:30. Isn't this Babylon the great, which I built, and is a royal residence by the might of my power and the glory of my majesty? And God humbled him till he became like an animal. And he started eating grass, we read in 33. And then finally he humbled himself after, 7 years or so. And then it says in verse 34, his reason returned to him. And then he said, I acknowledge God. And here's the statement in verse 35. All the inhabitants of the earth are zero. Hey, that's the revelation Paul got. Here, Nebuchadnezzar, he gets that revelation. Everybody on earth, including me, is a zero. The ruler of the greatest superpower on earth. And it says here, verse 34, my reason returned to me. I'll tell you when your reason has returned to you. When you recognize that you're a zero. Till then, there's a sense heaven considers you a bit off your head. You may not think so, but you're a bit off your head because you think you're a somebody. Your reason will return to you, my brother, my sister, when you recognize you're a zero. All the inhabitants of the earth are zero. Only God is everything. So that's how Jesus was. He came as a man, humbled himself, came down and became a servant. That was the other step. And then finally, it says in Philippians 2, he became like a criminal. Philippians 2. His first step of humility was God to man. Second step of humility was man to bondservant. And third, he humbled himself, Philippians 2:8, to death on a cross, which is the death of a criminal. God to man, to bondservant, to criminal. Criminals are worse than even beggars. And Jesus went right down. You cannot go lower than that. So that's why I say, he humbled himself, became a man. He humbled himself, became a bondservant. He humbled himself to the level of a criminal so that he could be underneath everybody. That's why you have often heard me say the three secrets of the Christian life are humility, humility, humility. And it's all there in Philippians 2, verse 5 to 8. If you have seen it, you've seen the secret of the Christian life. Now I want to give you a little illustration, which I once did for the children. I want 9 brothers here to come forward, the ones I asked to please come quickly. And can you come and stand here? Just stand down. I'll call you one by one. Any side, you can stand here also. Are you all here? Okay, come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay. Now, I'm going to demonstrate something here. What are the things we glory in? Can you come here and stand facing the... Yeah. Most of us glory in wealth. Up. That's what he is. Where's that mic? Okay. Okay. Wealth. The wealthiest man in the world. Seen him? He's number 1 in Forbes' list of the wealthiest people in the world. Zero in God's eyes. Okay. What are the other things we glory in? We get another brother. Here's a good-looking brother. Come here. Beauty. You see how handsome he is? I mean it. Zero. Okay. What's the other thing people glory in? Position. Okay, come, brother. He's got a very high position in the world. You don't recognize it. He looks humble, but he's got a very high position. Zero in God's eyes. Okay, the next one. He looks very clever. PhD, education. Zero. Okay, one more. Here's the athlete. He wins every medal in the Olympics. Sports. Zero. This guy is the one who's really popular. The young people, old people, girls, everyone is really popular. Popularity, zero. Okay. This is me, preacher, zero. He'll represent me. Preachers, people can be proud of preaching. Zero. And there are 101 other things or a million other things that represents all the other things you can be proud of. Okay. And the root cause of it all is self. Now study it carefully. See what they are, what Nebuchadnezzar understood. All the inhabitants of the earth are nothing. You know what gives value to them? Jesus. Now you see the value of all these people. You take it away, all the zeros, you can have all those qualities, and you're still a zero. But the moment Jesus comes in, even if it's just one person, he's got value more than all these other people. Just because Jesus is with him. You children, remember that. Never forget it. One person. And when you get fellowship, one person, 10 becomes 100. That's the wonder of fellowship. You get one more brother in fellowship. See what happens. And one more. And one more. And one more. Fellowship, fellowship, fellowship. Where everybody recognizes they are zeros. This is the church. This is the body of Christ. And you can be a member of the body of Christ, a functioning member, if you recognize, like King Nebuchadnezzar and like Paul, that you're a zero and that God is everything. I hope this will be imprinted in your mind forever. And the moment you suddenly begin to think highly of yourself again, you know what happens? You're a zero all over again. That's why you always need to keep Jesus number one in your life, in every area of your life throughout the new year. Thank you, brother, all you zeros. Thank you very much. And the one who preaches is also equally a zero, just like everybody else. This is the secret, my brothers and sisters. This is why Jesus pleased the Father. He took his position before the Father. Humility is not, saying I'm nothing, or hanging your head down, or wearing torn clothes, or none of all that. Humility is the recognition God is everything. You and I may have different qualities, but we are zero in his eyes. So God is in the business of bringing us down from 100 to 0. I don't know where you've got so far, but I hope the path of the righteous is like the shining light that shines brighter and brighter and brighter, which means the darkness goes away. What does it mean, the darkness going away? The darkness is our pride, our exaltation. It goes away, and the path of the righteous becomes brighter and brighter. Brighter means we become 0 and 0 and 0, like John the Baptist said. He will increase when I decrease. So I pray that all of you will have a blessed year in 2015 where you decrease and come down to zero quickly. Let's bow before God in prayer. Please think about what you heard and say, Lord, that's the way I want to go in this new year. And I want to get to that zero place where Jesus was. And your fellowship with Jesus will be better and brighter and more glorious because he's down there at that zero level. And many of us are far away from him because we have high thoughts. You want to get close to him? Get down to zero. Heavenly Father, help us to be gripped by the truth of God's word, to live according to it. We humbly ask. In Jesus' name, amen.